Yes, we are back. Time for that relationship talk. It's crucial. I mean, every other day we get into relationships, we get into love affairs, and sometimes we end up being very hurt, sometimes we enjoy. So it's only fair that we have conversations revolving around that. We share experiences, we get advice, we share advice, and moving on, we're able to, just soldier on the numerous times that we've cried for love. I know you can almost relate, and every other time it's afresh. So today we discuss non-traditional marriages and how they're likely to be on the rise. Joining me for the same on my farthest right is Mike. Anasema yeye hataki kuitwa counselor ama sijui ni psychologist, lakini tutamuita psychologist all the same. And we also have Alan Lawrence, who's seated right next to me. Alan Lawrence is an author and relationship coach. Oh, actually ulisema hutaki kuitwa coach.
Coach gani? Coach ni wa ball.
Si coach ya kiti ama coach ya ball ama nini?
Coach ni wa ball bana.
Usiongee mbaya na hapa kuna coach. All right, yes, non-traditional marriages. Hata hatujui ni nini hizo kwanza. Ni nini hizo kwanza non-traditional?
Mimi hata vile nilisikia hiyo topic nikashangaa unataka tufanye sema nini?
Oh yeah?
Bana.
So nimeleta the wrong person.
Hiyo ndio shida yangu bana.
Hebu anza coach. Anza. What are non-traditional marriages? Kwanza tuanzie hapo. And why is it that they're likely to be on the rise?
These non-traditional marriages are like marriages, we are just used to the norm, yes, whereby we assume that the man needs to be older than the lady. So we are having this trend whereby women are like people getting into marriages whereby the woman is older than the man. Yeah.
So in this case, in a larger perspective, Nile unaenda against what we are used to.
Norm, yeah.
Like today, an old man can get married to a young one, vice versa. Sometimes you can decide to andikiane two contract after 1 year, we're over and done. Ishe. We don't have to do the wedding thing. We don't have to make it formal. Is it the case?
My thinking is this: we can talk even the ones we are talking non-traditional, even the ones that are supposed to be, we know they are like that.
Okay.
So, but we are bringing our own prejudice, our own social analysis, and we put a cocoon that should be like this. And when it's not like this, then it becomes abnormal. When the lady is older and I'm young, it's become abnormal. It's based on our own perception.
Okay.
The way we see things. But relationship is not all about that. It's all about me and you and how we understand it. If we can understand each other, then we are right to go.
Okay.
But you cannot dodge the concept of how society perceives.
All right.
Society watatuchanganisha bana. Society
okay. Reality is that things are changing.
True.
And while we acknowledge that enyewe society itachanganyisha, tumeamua sasa sisi ndio tutachanganya society zaidi. And true, you just brought about a very, very crucial aspect of non-traditional marriages that is happening, that is being embraced. And we keep hiding in that aspect. We say age is not a number. Yeah. And we all acknowledge that age is not a number. You can find love anywhere and all this. Just how much of an undoing is that?
For me, I don't think there is a big deal. Why? Because remember, in a relationship, I always understand there are two different personalities coming together. They're like, you need to have the vision of all these kind of things because a relationship, or rather love, is not a feeling, it's a commitment.
Right.
So if I'm able to commit myself into this relationship, I need to check which kind of vision am I having. Can we marry? Like, marriage is not in terms of their personalities, but in terms of the vision, because at the end of the day, there are some things you won't agree on everything, but what will keep you guys together? Because at times you can wake up, you don't want even to hear somebody around you, don't want even to hear the word love. But what keeps you people together is the vision and the purpose.
Would I be wrong, much to argue that some of these things that people have gone through in marriage, the fact that you can wake up, like he says, and you really don't want to hear anything to do with love, could have informed these, sudden change of people wanting to pick up marriage agreements that deviate from the traditional ways or from the usual ways that we're used to?
It's very true, Linda. Because what is the genesis of this?
Yes.
If it's all about I pick you and we move, and we don't have a genesis, then it becomes a challenge.
Right.
Why do I say it like this? For example, ushaifika pahali unaona dem ako, even let's take for instance age. Dem ako 30, chali ako 25. Trust me, if you bring the psychological approach, which is a way of living in this country, in this world, you will find dem atafika pahali anza kuona, huyu chali ana utoi. No matter what we say, age is not a factor. It's still
Eventually,
a factor.
there's something that
it's still something.
Okay.
Because if you look about how we grow, men grow differently.
Yes.
Women grow differently.
Right.
The way women perceive things is totally different than the way men perceive.
Okay.
So the growth of a woman, she grows very,
Right.
very fast. Behavioral. Somebody was giving us a scenario of a man of 25 and a woman of 25 earning the same salary. Ukienda hata kujikeep, and the lady she's not getting from any means, any place.
Other means,
The lady amejieka.
Okay.
Chali bado akona utoto.
All right.
So to some extent, you also look about all these things that are there traditionally.
Right.
There are things we can borrow to today.
Okay.
And there are things we can live. So we can't just say tradition is just mbaya. We need to bring and see what is good here, what could be a good value, what could be not a good value.
Yeah.
And where do we have the synergy of both? Okay. And that's what utakuta, the way you've asked the question, utakuta pahali shafika, mazee, hatusikizani, mazee, ka contract. Because the genesis was wrong. We had covered that in form of a relationship. We understand each other. But you come to realize, even to understand somebody, tutaishi na 10 years,
you will never
of course.
understand. All right. Alan, I am curious, because for a moment, I just want to ask this question. What is best, sincerely speaking, in terms of the marriage setup? And we keep saying that, mbona za kina mama zetu zilikaa and all those questions. We keep asking that every other day. Really, if you look at the situation today, is it that the previous setup of marriage or the traditional setup of marriage is way better than what it is that we adopt today? And when we're talking about this, overlook at our age. Originally, you'd be told that a man is supposed to be taller than a woman.
It's true.
Originally, you'd be told that the man should be the old one. Well, you could be short and then find a better deal. It depends on you. Like every other time you're going around looking for a woman, you look for a woman who's shorter than you. And what March talks about is very important. The fact that, over time, this thought will cross your mind and you'll say, hata ni mfupi kunishinda, hata ni old kunishinda, she's way younger than me, or he's way younger than me. I mean, he's immature and all that. So which is really the best one, really, if we're talking about marriage?
Like, first of all, lazima, you need to check, like the way Machimachi was saying, whereby the age factor you also need to put in place. For example, somebody below the age, a man below the age of 30, telling me that you are getting into marriage, I look at you like, you are joking around. Because at the age of 30, somebody is trying to, like now at the age of 30, at least you've matured. You have purpose in life, at least you can manage your life. So you find most of these relationships that begin when a lady is below 25 years, most of these relationships don't last. Why? Because here everyone is trying to experiment themselves. They're trying to experiment themselves. So you find when somebody reaches at the age of 30, for instance, they have discovered, they have not changed, they have discovered who they are now. They have found their purpose in life. So now it boils down to whereby this person, how do I understand love? How do I perceive love? So the moment you perceive love and you be able to match with a person, not because of their substance, but because of how you viewed yourself in the next, like after this duration, how am I going to see myself? Will I be like going to achieve my vision? Will I be going to achieve my purpose in life? Because at the end of the day, is you coming together to complement each other, not to compete. So once you are there in that setup, you'll be able to understand, like, what is love really to me? It's a commitment. What am I committing to? So it boils down to you to checking on your commitment.
Okay, I would have loved for us to have started by, highlighting some of these are things that we would consider as non-traditional. I mean, and they're very many. He brings another point, age factor in terms of when you get into marriage, not in terms of the partner. So sometimes during the times of our moms, they would say at 12, anaolewa na anashikilia nyumba mpaka forever. Yeah? Today we say 20-something is too early. There are people who would argue, acha niolewe 20-something go. I mean, just what exactly should be done is something that has gotten us confused. Again, I will ask, Could this be another reason that could have informed this aspect of people starting to embrace traditional? And something as well, I was remembering a scenario where I have this friend of mine who is very comfortable to let his wife go with another man. These agreements that you just have within yourselves in the marriage setup. It's okay. It's okay. That's so non-traditional. Like, you do not want your woman going out with another man. But nowadays, people are normalizing such.
Yeah.
So when you look at these occurrences, what you to say me randomly for the sake of the person who's watching us today, what are these no-go zones that make the whole thing non-traditional?
Linda, I think this
to you
this debate is serious.
Okay.
It's very, very serious because it will become non-traditional, or it's tradition and this based on our selfish idea.
Okay.
Interest yangu ni this. We have forgotten to go back to the Genesis 2:18, that I will leave my mother and my father and become one.
Yeah.
And the concept of I want to goes away, is we want to. Leaving your mother and your father have so many components in between it. And why it's becoming this level that unaweza enda utafute pesa provided you let and everything, because we did not understand this. Because I believe both of us can start something, even a sukuma wiki, and go to other levels. So I don't have to allow you as my wife to go and get money because it's not all about money. Money is just a facilitator. It's not a major component of marriage. It's a facilitator. But now marriages are based on marriage. Two, when you talk about age, somebody was telling me a story and was telling me, think about you go 30.
Okay.
You get married on 30, yeah? So, lavidadi kidogo 3 years. Pata mtoi. So by 50, ako ka start date.
Okay.
All those are people analyzing issues.
Issues, yeah.
And they are right on their own way, and this and this. But you might get somebody of 30 or 35 who toto imembuja. You might get somebody of 25 based. What is lacking is mentorship.
Okay.
What is lacking is people behind me as I grow as a man, a boy child as a man. How am I nurtured? To see, to look at. How are you nurtured as a woman, and who are the people that are you moving around with?
Yeah.
The peer methodology have dominated more, and that's why we are coming to tradition and tradition. Because the peer, to ladies, saloon approach comes like this. You come to apply it in my family, I work.
I agree.
Then if it cannot work,
then there's a rift.
Linda, wacha nikwambie kitu moja, ile inakuanga na ufala. Wewe umesema you're doing right. Like another time we were discussing about finance. How should we share the finance and everything?
Yes.
And one lady just shared, no, me hata salary yangu, my husband knows, and this and this and this. But 5 of them, they disagreed with this one.
Okay.
So wewe uko right, lakini 5 wamedisagree.
Wamedisagree na wewe.
Utaendaje? Utarudi kumbe nilikuwa na ufala. Kumbe you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
So those which are negative dominate more than the positive.
Okay.
Somebody say, with my mother-in-law, we are buddies, I call them. 5 of them will talk about how. So, these components za nje zinaanza kuchallenge the 21st century marriages. Ndio tunaanza kuangalia tradition ni gani na gani sio tradition.
Alright.
Zikishaanza kukoroga, tumesema ni sisi tunazikoroga, already sisi ndio tunazikoroga zaidi because of what we are getting. I tell people garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
What are we feeding ourselves about marriage? What are we feeding ourselves with the concept of love? Love is beyond what we can define. And that's why hata kwa Bible, God alishindwa, Jesus amejaribu kudefine love mpaka imekuwa ngumu.
Kama ilimshinda in this age of technology, sembusa sisi namna gani? Now we ask ourselves, sincerely speaking, what Mike speaks of would probably had been my next question, and it's crucial. Who is there to tell us, how marriage should be, what marriage is, not necessarily give us the facts 100%, but just paint a picture of what love should be, what it means to fall in love with another man, and what it means to fall in love, and be loved back and all that. And just for a woman to ensure that, yes, they are that Proverbs 31 woman, and, the man to complement the same.
Two things. Number one, it all boils down to mentorship. Number two is about the information you have.
Yeah.
So on mentorship, you get, waiting to learn out of experience is absolute ignorance. Wisdom detects that at least get someone who will walk with you.
Okay.
Not necessarily like they are there, but at least their experiences. The challenge we are having here, everything rises and falls on leadership. So the kind of leadership, who are you submitted under? Like, who are you able to be taught? Are you able to learn? Because we live in this generation whereby somebody sees, if I submit under someone, I look like I'm weak. That is not weakness. Submission is actually strength put under control. So whereby I'm strong enough to recognize that I need help. I have understood that there is no any great person out here. We only have the helped.
Okay.
We only have the helped people.
Right.
So if you are ready to be helped, can I be sat down and be told? But today we tend to judge people. I always tell people, like, you take the content, leave the container. Like, you can be able to sit down with the person and they will be able to challenge you. Secondly, it's about the information. We are as powerful as the kind of information we are having. So for you to make a sound decision, which kind of information are you feeding yourself with? We live in this generation whereby people have the concept of love based on the movies. Yeah. Like, as a Christian, I always tell them, do not use Hollywood as a standard for your marriage, or rather love. Use the Holy Word. So it all now comes down to, like, before you enter into a relationship, before you love someone, does this person, are you submitted under a higher power? Right. Be it a Muslim, be it like a Christian. Are you under like submission to be able to be taught? Are you like, do you have the right kind of information about marriages? We are busy, information is everywhere. But how are you ready to sacrifice, even your lover? Like, can you guys sit down and discuss things that add value unto you? Because marriage, or rather dating, is not a career. This is a relationship. It's not a financial breakthrough we've been praying for.
Hakuna shule.
Hakuna shule.
Hakuna uni. Ni ujisoto.
Kama hakuna shule, then why do we seek mentorship? Why do we go out there to get information that will be?
And that's why mentorship is to journey with.
Yeah.
There is something you'll see good that are giving value. There's something I'll see from a higher mentor person who have in a relationship, and even that man will share pro and cons.
Yeah.
I did this, I missed. I did this, I succeeded. And I will borrow what I find can work to me. There's the concept of autonomy being. The uniqueness within myself.
Right.
There's no manual. People have written book about relationship and everything. It's based on their perception.
Okay.
Which is right.
Yeah.
But now in this scenario, kuna formula imeandikwa pale and it cannot work. I love the concept amesema. It's about value of the supreme God. The supreme power. If you take that now, narrow it down. Then look at something that is very important. Temperament of each other.
Okay.
The way you love to be held, to me, is different. There are people you love to be hugged. Them, that's the love. If you don't hug me, then you don't love me.
All right.
There are people who ukimshika mkono feel, wow, this guy loves me. They define love as that.
Right.
Kuna mtu ukimshika unaambia mazuri unanishikaje mimi sio mtoto. Unajua, we are different. What are my temperament? So, am I ready? Yes, God is there, and God has shown me, and I should love you. But I need to go to another level to understand Linda anapenda nini. What are the temperament of Linda? What are my temperament? Where do they meet?
Okay.
The way he's saying, for you to be able to receive love accordingly, you need to understand what's my love language, so that and when I match with another person, to be able like now to understand what is Linda's love language. That's why last time I said, if you take care of what you're bringing in the relationship, what you get out of the relationship will sort itself out. In this sense, whereby if your love language is let's say you like hanging out, can I be able to like make sure that you hang out? Definitely you'll be able to to compliment me. And I always warn ladies, ladies, the challenge is you find ladies, they try to love a man. A man is not loved. A man is not loved. It's not your duty. Biblically, even it's not your duty.
A man is to submit. A man is the person who actually they say the man is the one who's supposed to love.
Exactly. So you as a lady, you need to respect me. Give me peace. So regardless
it is earned based on how you love me.
No. But
yes.
Classical condition. That's a condition. How you love me.
Love me, and then all these other things will fall to play. Love first, and then I'll submit automatically.
Yes, but you
do your part. Leave it to God.
No, there's no way my part is working without you having. You're the man. You're the lead. I mean, do it, love me, and then automatically you won't even ask for submission.
Ufala inatokea wapi? Because you have already some mind of love should be like
this.
So
exactly.
me, I'm loving you with my own pattern. My own methodology. To you're bringing another method that's sielewi.
Hapana, we live
It's
in
not the language. It's not the language.
and I'll submit automatic.
What if it's not part of your love language based on your expectation?
A submission hapa si cha love language. It's automatic. I'm supposed to submit. You're supposed to love me. Love language itakuja baadaye.
Like we go the biblical way, the Bible has said submit to one another in reference to the Lord.
Wacha tusiende hata Bible, tuseme tu generally. Kuna Muslims na all that. But I mean, they first say love you, women, and
love
women submit.
Very good.
So we start with you. Love me first. Come approach me, tell me I love you. And then, all right, actually.
But is it possible for me not to tell you I love you, but vitendo vikiwa zinatenda I love you?
Okay, well, it is possible.
It is possible.
That's why I say it is possible.
Condition
do
comes there.
Do that, and then automatically I'll melt. It will melt my heart, and I'll submit. You know, kama nilikuwa nimesema that this one is a non-traditional where we are writing a contract. I'll think otherwise.
But you know what, Linda? One thing, marriage is work.
Yeah.
Marriage is work. You have to work it. You literally have to work it. So ukikuja na ile perception whereby unasema like this person has to. That's why I said you just have to take care of what you are supposed to do. Do not.
When you say it's work, we say sometimes it's too much work. Maybe that's the reason why we see this non-traditional, marriage is coming, because this too much work will make me want to go away. Will make me want to get something.
Too much work.
Is it not too much work?
No, it's supposed to be like, in fact, work must be there.
Okay.
In anything is work.
Right.
You must work for it.
Okay.
In fact, hata watu wanaufala vijana ati naenda Nairobi kutafuta pesa. No. Kufanya kazi. Wazazi wetu walikuwa wanaenda Nairobi kutafuta pesa inajileta.
Okay.
So I have to work for it. Because you are different. In fact, umelelewa tofauti, vile umebringiwa na familia yako wako na with their own pattern.
Right.
Na mimi own pattern. Na sasa atinawacha tunakuwa kitu moja. These are two different products trying to come together. So I must work for it.
Okay.
I must now start understanding your love language. I must just love you. Kuna mtu sipomwambia I love you or good night, huyo ataniambiaje kitu, but I love you.
But now the way he's just saying, so he understands your love language is like, let's say the way like let's say it's like kuku assure. So he doesn't need to be assured like Linda. How is Linda paying back? So he's just like doing his part, and automatically that's where now you are saying submission comes in. So if
and without looking back,
like
don't expect anything.
Don't expect anything.
Okay.
So like the frustrations in relationships is just because people have unrealistic expectations.
You think so?
Yeah, unrealistic expectations.
Right.
Whereby I'm expecting my girl to be this. I'm expecting relationship is for two forgivers. People who have different, like you are from different worlds, trying to make this thing work. So once it like you are here, you know this is it. I need to put everything into this relationship to ensure that it works, without like necessarily looking at what the society is saying, without necessarily looking like what will people view us.
But it's a society that has brought on board these expectations, in the sense that if I am marching into marriage, it is my man to ensure that we have security, we have food and everything, the basic things. And sometimes men want to run away from that because they say, times have changed. If times have changed, then don't you think it's okay? We can go these non-traditional ways and comfortably say it's okay.
Now, despite the fact what the society are trying to bring on, we need to look at the genesis. And that's why if we are moving that way, that's why marriages are not working. That's why I can do without you. If it's all about a man should provide this, I'm not saying should not. But today, both of you go to school, I go to school, there is somewhere we meet. There's somewhere that I don't mind even you to be more learned than me, to get a high job paying than me, because I'm not scared of that, because we are one. Other responsibility within our family are taken on the table. And that's why I tell Kenyans, relationship is individual. It's based on the couple. It's not based on the society.
Okay.
You listen to the society, you bring those patterns in your marriage, they don't work. But there are those ones which are working. But the ones which are so too negative, so, ndio zina change concept is like this and this and this. But trust me, there are people, think about the old. The way they used to look at relationship, I envy them.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of resilience, a lot of respect, a lot of patience. Nowadays, Linda, uko kwa studio, nimekukall, and the whole day umetoka hapo, umeenda meeting, umeenda seriously, jioni ni beef. I'm not patient.
Yeah.
Are you working? Maybe you didn't call me and tell me this and this. So it's condition, you must do this and this. There are so many classical conditions that are coming without understanding each other.
Okay.
Understanding that the nature of living is like this. Walikuwa nakatiana, our parents, and especially my mom and my dad, they have a distance of 7 kilometers from where they were living. Yeah? And I don't know walikatiana aje. Because I think my dad could go there and was so patient. Ukuja by 9 ndio natoka. 9 on the dot ako hapa.
Amefika. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo.
Alright.
Okay, so as we get to
yeah. No patience. Know that level of knowing Linda anaweza kuwa kwa chama and this and this. Then you bring a beef. When you bring a beef, if the understanding component is not there within that friendship, within that love, then we lose it.
Gentlemen, we all acknowledge that there is a problem, yeah? And, well, as psychologists, I think your core duty is to ensure that these problems are solved. And in that case, then I will ask this question. Amid all these conversations that we are having today, and we acknowledge that the negatives are heavily outweighed the positives, there's always that hope of a reverse and us getting it right. So, from this particular point, how do we get it right? How do we get back to that point where, we can value marriages again? We can look at marriages with resilience. We can have, to get companions or companionships that are good enough. We can get to have marriages work. We can run away from divorces, the numerous cases of divorces. And in most cases, you sit with these people who are going through that, and you just wonder, this small thing, it really have to cause this divorce.
Yeah, you get even most of the relationships that break. They are not big deals that make people like go separate ways. They're just these minute things whereby people like. So the solution to it, according to me, is people need to cultivate friendship.
Yeah.
Even before you proceed to dating, you need to be friends first. You need to be vulnerable with this person. With wisdom, actually. Do not just be vulnerable, because the moment you can be vulnerable with this person, it can be used against you. But if you cultivate the friendship to a level whereby you can sit and talk about everything and nothing, you understand? So it is you now to cultivate the friendship and cultivate this relationship. You just need to make the relationship work. And another thing is, do not rush into these things. Do not set a standard based on what you see on social media. Do not set a standard based on how people will...
Friends.
Yeah, especially the peer pressure. You want to I want my relationship to work like Linda's. No, it doesn't work like that. Because I believe if you rush into this thing, you crash. It's better to wait other than to waste. So you wait at the right time and determine what you really want out of relationship. Because if you do not set your standard clearly, it's just like a product out there. If you're not packaging yourself and pricing yourself well, people will price you. Okay. So what do I need from a relationship?
So the value they'll give you, you will have no choice but to have
no choice. So it all again boils down to you having a personal relationship with yourself. Okay. Because remember, dating or rather marriage is not a rescue mission from yourself. Is like now you are here, you are mature enough, now you can accommodate the madness of another person. Okay. So have a relationship with yourself. I run away from a person who will tell me that I love you, yet they are not comfortable around themselves. Can you date yourself? Can you value yourself? What do you speak when you are alone? Like the words you say, I am this and this, they are more powerful than what another person will tell you. Okay. So do you have value for yourself?
All right.
Unaona kitu moja? Before I say a way forward, what we think of today, I find cases that comes to my office, nashanga. Can I tell you a scenario of just last week but one? A case of, unaona bafu ukishawa, maji na fall kwa tiles.
Yes.
The lady could not stand how the man umeshawa, na sabuni
imebaki kwa tiles.
Kwa wall. How?
Okay.
Exactly. After that, ukimaliza kushawa, simwagilie tu wall. And that became a cause of divorce.
Okay. Wow.
And the lady in the office could say, maina, afikiri, haoni. Hii skini kitu ya kumwaga tu maji, anashindwa hivi, unajua? But the man ni ashawe na atoke na ende. You see, a small thing. But I think is this, the pattern of life outside there. time have reached, Linda, for you as a presenter.
Yeah.
Let's now look about what are these temperaments of men. Let's not stop preaching. Should be this preaching out. Bring men candle,
Yes.
bring women candle. Let's talk about this and this.
Right.
Let's talk about this. Let's meet together. Let's see where we are meeting. You start understanding
Each other.
I had a workshop of around 100 singles, and there are some ladies say, I didn't know men love that. Kuna ladies kumbe machali mazee tunawabebanga vibaya na kumbe. You see, so it is very possible to bring where forums, not only to tell them, but forums to listen to each other and see a way forward.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, especially for men.
All right, there you go. I have no words for this, but yes, it's a learning process every other time. And like the gentleman say, you know, it's just about you and that relationship that you're in with your partner. Much. Asante sana, Alan Lawrence. Thank you so much for the great insights. That's where we get to wind up this session. So much of feedback, but I will not be able to go through them. We say Asante as we look forward to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. My name is Linda Alola.